The first thing she noticed was the way he stared at his coffee like it had personally betrayed him. The Café window reflected his face back at him, older than his years, eyes hollowed by long nights and longer regrets. Outside, rain slid down the glass in slow, tired lines. She hesitated, fingers tightening around her cup, then said softly, almost to herself, "You look tired, a broken bar like my husband before he left." He flinched, not because her voice was loud, but because it landed exactly where he'd been trying not to look. And if this moment pulls at something inside you already, if you've ever felt seen by a stranger in a way that scares you, pause for just a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us. This story comes back to this Café window at the end, and what happens then might change the way you see your own reflections. Her name was Amina. She was young enough that grief still surprised people when they learned it lived inside her. The black scarf around her hair wasn't for show, it was habit now, a comfort. She worked mornings at the Café because mornings were easier, less noise, fewer memories. He was Daniel Reed, though no one here knew that name carried weight in boardrooms and headlines. Here, he was just another man with a suit too expensive for the chip table and a posture bent by something money couldn't fix. He'd chosen this place because it didn't know him. He'd chosen the window seat because it gave him something to watch while avoiding himself. "I'm sorry," he said after a moment, because apologies were easier than questions. "I didn't mean to look a broken bar, whatever I look like." She smiled in a way that didn't ask anything of him. "It's okay, I didn't mean to say it out loud." She glanced at the rain. "Some faces remind you of people you miss." He nodded. He missed people too, though he wasn't sure he deserved to. The Café hummed softly, a cups clinking, a radio murmuring an old song about waiting. He should have returned to his phone, to the emails stacking up like demands. Instead, he found himself asking, did he broken bar leave? "Yes," she said, and then, after a pause, he didn't plan to. She didn't explain, and he didn't ask. Silence settled between them, not awkward, just honest. When she moved away to refill a pot, he realized his hands had stopped shaking. Daniel came back the next day, and the day after that. He told himself it was the coffee. It wasn't. Amina noticed how he always chose the same seat, how he never checked the menu anymore. She noticed the faint tremor in his fingers and the way his eyes softened when she spoke about small things, the burnt pastries, the stray cat that slept by the back door, the way the rain smelled different afternoon. He noticed the way she carried her grief without letting it spill, how she laughed with her whole face and then sometimes looked surprised by it. They spoke in pieces at first. He said he ran a company. She said she had a son. He said he liked quiet mornings. She said mornings were when her husband used his sing-off key while tying his shoes. One day, he asked, "Does it get easier?" She didn't pretend. "It gets different," she said. "You learn which days you can carry it with one hand." Daniel's life outside the Café was loud. His company was bleeding from the inside of bad deals, worse trust. He was surrounded by people who needed him but didn't know him. His marriage had ended not with shouting, but with schedules and indifference. He'd been lonely in rooms full of people, tired in beds that cost more than this Café made in a week. At night, he stared at ceilings and wondered when he'd stop being someone he recognized. Amina's life was smaller and heavier. Her husband, Hassan, had died suddenly, leaving behind a silence that screamed. Their son, Yusuf, was 5 and asked questions that broke her open. "Why doesn't Baba come to pick me up? Did I do something wrong?" She learned how to answer without lying and without drowning. She learned how to work and mother and grieve in the same breath. The challenges came quietly, like storms that don't announce themselves. Daniel's board demanded more, longer hours, ruthless decisions. He missed mornings at the Café and felt the loss like a skipped heartbeat. Amina's landlord raised the rent. Yusuf needed shoes that fit. The Café owner hinted about cuts. Pride kept her mouth closed when she should have asked for help. One morning, Daniel didn't come. Amina poured his coffee anyway, habit making fools of us all. When he finally returned a week later, he looked worse. He sat, rubbed his eyes, and said, I'm failing." The word surprised them both. She didn't rush to fix it. She just listened. When he finished, she said, "You're tired because you're carrying everything alone." He laughed, sharp and humorless. "Isn't that what leaders do?" She met his gaze. That's what lonely people do." They began to share more. He told her about the boy he'd been before ambitions sharpened him. She told him about the girl she'd been before grief taught her to be careful. He told her he didn't know how to stop. She told him stopping wasn't quitting if it saved you. Then came the day Yusuf visited the Café Copyright after school. He sat swinging his legs, eyes bright, and asked Daniel, "Do you know how to draw cars?" Daniel laughed for real this time and pulled a pen from his pocket. They bent over a napkin, 3 heads close, the rain forgotten. Something in Daniel's chest loosened, something in Amina's eyes softened. But life tests hope. A headline broke: "Here, Daniel's company under investigation." Phones rang. Investors fled. The Café Copyright buzzed with whispers he couldn't outrun. He stopped coming again. Not because he didn't want to, but because shame can be heavier than grief. Amina waited, then learned. She worried and prayed and told herself not to expect anything from anyone. When he finally returned, he stood instead of sitting, hands clenched. "I shouldn't have let this become a broken bar," he gestured, helpless. "I don't want to bring chaos into your life." She surprised him by stepping closer. "Chaos doesn't ask permission," she said. "But you're not chaos." She told him about the rent, about the shoes, about how tired she was of being strong. He listened, really listened, and something old and solid woke up in him. Daniel didn't fix things with a check. He helped in ways that respected her strength. He connected the Café Copyright with a fair supplier. He hired locally when he rebuilt his company. Slower and cleaner this time. He learned to ask for help and to give it without turning it into power. Amina took a class at night. Yusuf learned to ride a bike with Daniel jogging beside him, breathless and laughing. The resolution wasn't perfect. There were setbacks. Days when grief returned like weather. Days when Daniel wanted to run. But they chose presence. They chose honesty. They chose to sit at the Café Copyright window and let the world pass while they learned how to stay. Years later, on a morning that looked a lot like the first, the rain tracing tired lines down glass, Amina sat at the window again. Yusuf was older now, tapping at his phone. Daniel poured coffee behind the counter, sleeves rolled up. The Café Copyright theirs in all the ways that mattered. She caught her reflection and smiled. "You look rested," she said. He grinned. "I am, if you stayed to the end." Thank you. Stories like this aren't about miracles, they're about moments, about seeing and being seen. If it moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need to hear that loneliness can end, sometimes with the sentence whispered at a Café Copyright window.